She helped me one night. We spent the evening together.
No, I don't think so.
In fact, he came here looking for her.
I was looking for my son, not my wife, and you told me no one had been here.
I lied. We played gin.
Why would you lie about that?
Why would you lie about that?
I was afraid that you would punish her.
For playing gin.
Hi, I'm Dom Griffin. I'm a film critic, and you're watching The Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, that sort of thing. So if you like movies and popular culture and like to see somebody pick those things apart, please consider subscribing. Today, I'm reviewing The Woman in the Window, a movie that a few years ago was on track to be one of the hottest movies of 2019 and is just now sort of unceremoniously being dumped onto Netflix, long past its brief fleeting moment of zeitgeist relevance. On paper, The Woman in the Window sounds like it would very much be my type of movie. I love straightforward airport thriller books that light up the bestseller charts before being adapted into sturdy, semi-prestige movies that feel like purposeful throwbacks to the 90s studio picture.
Isn't my daughter there?
That's sort of my jam. And on its surface, The Woman in the Window feels like it could scratch that particular itch for me. But then you actually watch it and it's gonna be a no for me, dog. The Woman in the Window, directed by Joe Wright from a script by Killer Joe scribe Tracy Letts, you know, Lady Bird's dad, is an adaptation of the 2018 novel from A.J. Finn, a book at the time that was pegged as a worthy hit in the lineage of Gone Girl and The Girl on the Train. The story follows Dr. Anna Fox, played by Amy Adams, an agoraphobic therapist living alone in a New York City brownstone. Her only real social interactions are phone calls with her estranged husband, played by Anthony Mackie, and their daughter. So in between them, her therapist, and her downstairs tenant, the only true intrigue in her life is whatever is going on across the street, the invasive views from her window. When the Russells move in across the street, father Gary Oldman, son whoever the fuck this kid is, and mother Julianne Moore, she finds herself privy to some distracting drama that turns deadly when she witnesses what appears to be a murder. The only problem is that when she gets the police involved, she discovers that the woman she met and saw stabbed to death wasn't Oldman's wife, but perhaps a figment of her imagination. Her new meds can cause hallucinations, and as her condition worsens, it's clear everything we have come to believe about her reality isn't necessarily true. So what's really going on? Who cares? Now, I never read the book this movie is based on, but after seeing the movie, I did read a wiki plot summary, and it appears to be pretty faithful. I just have a hard time believing this book was ever any good. When it was released, The New Yorker had a big profile on Dan Mallory, the man behind the A.J. Finn pen name, and if you have made it the last few years without reading it, I will put a link in the description. His life story is far more intriguing than anything he's ever written, and the final paragraph of that profile is absolutely chilling. But The Woman in the Window, as a story, is too much of a hodgepodge of other stories to feel like much of anything. If you are unsure of its obvious Rear Window inspiration, the movie makes sure to remind you. It has passing similarities to the John Emile Sigourney Weaver vehicle Copycat, which I must say right here and right now is a far superior film. And apparently much of the source material was allegedly thieved from another novel called Saving April by Sarah Denzel. I honestly don't care all that much about artistic thievery if we're being honest. If this final result was cobbled together from disparate sources to become its own interesting thing, cool, but it's not. It's aggressively bland. And some of that is probably because Fox had initially planned to release the film at the tail end of 2019 and had to bring in studio fixer Tony Gilroy to retool the movie with rewrites and reshoots after it tested poorly. The result is what feels like a highly compromised adaptation of a 450-page novel whittled down into a 100-minute movie with weird pacing, bland characterization, and so little substance or intrigue. Honestly, if you're gonna do this sort of claustrophobic psychological thriller thing, you should either have a more intricately crafted screenplay to keep the mystery enticing throughout the runtime, or you could say fuck it to all that and go full De Palma, leaning into the psychosexual Hitchcock idolatry and just, spamming the viewer with split diopter shots and bravura camera movement. Wright toys a little with that at times, for sure, and I admire his restraint, but the film never feels engaging enough visually or narratively to feel worth watching. Amy Adams, an actress with immense talent who nonetheless has an eye as good for scripts as Nas has an ear for beats,
squeezing on big old bubbles with no panties,
does fine here, and much of the supporting cast is game too, but nobody, save for Julianne Moore's scant screen time, really grasps the kind of picture they're in, so everyone is on the wrong side of pulp at every given turn. I just reviewed Spiral from the Book of Saw the other day, and honestly, within 10 minutes of that movie, I knew exactly who the killer was, and caught every little breadcrumb the writers left on that trail the entire time, and when I was proven right, it didn't diminish the film's entertainment value. Spiral is kind of a trashy flick, so it worked just the same, visible seams and all. but I was pretty sure I had the woman in the window pegged out pretty early on too, and by the time I got to a scene where Wyatt Russell is mirthlessly dumping telegraphed exposition at Amy Adams, I wasn't underwhelmed so much as completely numb. I had checked out long before any of the third act reveals, so I didn't care what happened to anyone else in the picture, much less its sympathetic lead we should all feel, literally anything for at all. But given its difficult gestation period, its origins as an adaptation of an overrated piece of prose, and the fact that too many cooks in the kitchen probably butchered any outside chance of it being a good time, it's almost a Pyrrhic victory that this movie is just bland and unenjoyable instead of, offensive or terrible. It's just mediocre. I almost wish it was actually bad. But at least it's finally out, right? Should you watch The Woman in the Window? Maybe. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, it's probably gonna be the first thing you see when you log on today. But I don't think I can recommend it personally. But I will say that if you do choose to watch it, you're not gonna be mad that you did. Like, you're not gonna come at the other end angry that you did it or wanting your time back. Like, you might not remember it at all. It might just become sort of a weird gaping hole in your memory. And I don't know, I guess it's better than a movie that makes you want to punch the person who made it in the face, right? Someday we'll get back to the halcyon days of fun, kitschy crime movies based on books that you always see in Walmart when you're looking for a magazine, like that type of thing. I miss those days. This just did not scratch that itch for me. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the little bell icon so you get notifications when I put out new videos. It helps me out a ton. If you have any thoughts about this book or Amy Adams or how you wish you too were watching a Brian De Palma movie, you can do that in the comments below. I love talking to you guys. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys again. I hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, being good to yourselves and each other, wearing your masks if you're not vaccinated, getting vaccinated so you don't have to wear a mask, that sort of stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.